Heading overseas now, Human Rights Watch says it has new evidence that Syrian government forces have used chemical weapons at least 4 times in the last 6 months. Its report out today accuses the government of Bashar al-Assad of using sarin gas and chlorine in both air and ground missiles. The group's Deputy United Nations Director, Akshaya Kumar, spoke to Anne Barker.
Well, what the report does is takes a deep dive into Khan Sheikhoun, which is the most recent Syrian government nerve agent or gas attack that has captured the world's attention, but it seeks to contextualize it in the context of other recent attacks. And so part of that are these 3 other attacks that involve nerve agents that we've confirmed since December of last year. And then the other part is the long-standing pattern of the widespread and systematic use of chlorine as a weapon of war. And that includes in Aleppo in September, where government forces seem to have been using chlorine as a weapon to pave the way for their offensive against civilians, targeting them indiscriminately. And all of that put together is deeply concerning to us. And so the report looks at both Khan Sheikhoun, but then also zooms out to show you how that wasn't actually an isolated incident. And in fact, it hasn't even been the only incident where nerve agents were used since 2013, when there was this promise and pledge from the Syrian side that they would get rid of all of these weapons.
Is there any doubt in your mind that the Syrian government was behind these attacks?
Well, all of the circumstantial evidence that we have points heavily in that direction, and that includes the fact that our researchers were able to confirm that the munitions and the remnants that are there are of the type they're Soviet-made, that the Syrian government could have had access to, although we don't know what's in their arsenal. Also, the fact that warplanes were the ones which dropped these bombs. We have extensive eyewitness testimonials. We interviewed over 60 people who talked about the attack and the way it happened. All fingers point in the direction of the Syrian government being the perpetrators here. What we also were able to do is very conclusively dismiss the alternative theories that the Syrian government and its allies, especially in Russia, have put forward about the fact that maybe there were warplanes and maybe they did drop bombs, but there were no chemicals in the bombs themselves, and they must have just accidentally hit some kind of a storage facility where rebels were using these weapons or preparing them. That's a narrative that's been put out there. And what our research shows is once we were able to confirm the munition type and specifically noted the green striping on them, that is something that you usually see in military circles only on a weapon that has chemicals attached to it.
What sort of pressure now does this put on the international community to do more to stop further attacks like these?
What we're looking for from the international community as far as retaliatory action is a real definitive step towards accountability and justice, and also pressuring the people who are enabling the Syrian government to continue to commit crimes like these. And so I think Human Rights Watch, we don't take positions on actual military action like the unilateral strike that the Trump administration took, but we do take positions on the other things that international stakeholders can and should be doing in places like the UN, and that's a place where they can act, especially by imposing sanctions.
What chance, though, is there for sanctions to succeed without Russia's support?
It's certainly an uphill battle, and that's why we continue to urge the Russians to stop abusing the veto that they have that's guaranteed to them as a member of a permanent member of the Security Council, and using a veto to shield the Syrian government from scrutiny. That sounds like enabling and assisting to me.
That's Akshaya Kumar from Human Rights Watch speaking to Anne Barker.